Hello and welcome to the Academy Midseason Invitational, where the best North American Academy teams from all across the greater Los Angeles converge for a clash that ultimately ends with one champion. I'm Riving the Bizen III, and I am joined by the guru of all things Academy, Mark Zimmerman, making his triumphant return to this desk. I am graced by your presence.
I missed it. It's been a while since I was up here talking about all the upcoming North American stars.
Absolutely. Now you can cast and analyze at the same time. For those of you getting their first exposure to Academy this split, welcome. It is time for a crash course on how the regular split played out. For most, the important thing here coming in to know is Academy also had its clump throughout the split, but it had much stiffer competition than the LCS's.
Yeah, the LCS clump was a slogfest between the bottom to mid-tier teams, whereas Academy's clump was between 5 teams just underneath Cloud9 at first.
Yes.
There was an absurd 6-way tie heading into the final regular week of the split, which resolved itself with a 4-way tie, and somehow for third, miraculously, that tie broke. No actual games were played, just settled through head-to-head and all that stuff.
Usually we have quite a bit there. All that doesn't change the aim of these teams, however, going into Academy MSI to take down those reigning champions. That's going to be Cloud9.
Yep, C9 Academy are still smurfing after their Academy Worlds win last year. They only changed their support, which was Diamond, that they picked up from Scouting Grounds, who looked pretty good over there. The other notable thing is TSM Academy surging towards second, towards the second half of the split after a pretty big mid-season slump. So somehow they managed to pull themselves ahead the rest of the clump, slump and clump.
It's got to be good to feel that coming into a situation where you're like, okay, we need to have that happen now in a straight series of 5 games possibly, or at least a quick 3 to get it out, because week after week, they weren't seeing a lot of performance, and now they get a chance to see who can come out on top, and they want it to be them. We'll see the top 2 teams compete in the coming week now, but let's take a look at the bracket to see what we have for today. First up, FOXA and 100 Thieves Academy challenge one another to premiere the Academy MSI, and then with Tuesday and CLG Academy looking to defeat Insanity and Team Liquid Academy in a best of 5 just tomorrow, so don't miss it, with the winner of both of those matches facing off against the number 1 and 2 seeded Cloud9 and TSM Academy next week. Now let's jump into the roster rundown as we get things moving. Selecting for the blue side for Game 1, it is FOXA Academy. That means in the top lane, you have Lorlo. In the jungle, roaming around is Panda. In mid lane is Yasui. Bot lane is the familiar face of Lost support, Phil, and Coach Mabry for picks and bans.
And over on the red side, it's 100 Thieves Academy. In the top lane, it's Fake God, jungle, Fragus, mid lane, Stoligo, bot lane, Prismal, supported by Stunt with Coach Kelsey Moser.
We got littered with LCS players here. So our first playoff matchup has some familiar faces, as I said, for the LCS fans, who, surprisingly, however, don't steal the spotlight as players as we see.
Yeah, Lorlo is the biggest name on FOXA, but he's not really the Smurf carry for this team. That's actually been Yasui in the mid lane. He's number 1 in kills and assists at 15 minutes and second most solo kills in all of Academy. So he's been doing great. Backed up by Panda, who has seen some time on the LCS stage. And he's been kind of the guy playing around Yasui to get those disgusting stats.
That's right. They face off against 100 Thieves, who, unlike their LCS team, have found plenty of success this split, namely on the creative drafts of Kelsey Moser, their coach, putting those together right before the games.
Right. This team was originally created from the pieces of Team Mountain from Scouting Grounds and then built around the veteran support and Stunt. They also brought Stoligo back from the LCS to get some series experience. And the drafts are interesting because they do usually pick 1 or 2 weird things. They're pretty quick to try the new strong build.
Yep.
So early in the split, you had Stunt on Lissandra and Sejuani support. They've been trying the on-hit Nico top. They tried new Morgana. I assume with Kale being enabled, they would be the team to play Kale.
A few stunts.
Yes.
Maybe even bot lane. Actually, no, probably not. That'd be an interesting support to play in that situation now. 100 Thieves feeling good coming into this matchup. As we were saying, some of those LCS faces, we've seen Stunt on that stage. Soligo as well, coming back onto the Academy team after having a quick stint on the top of that list for being able to kind of get the best. His first week, I believe, was Jensen and Bjergsen, if I remember correctly, and he fared quite well in those games.
Yeah, he wasn't crushing them or anything like that, but he also wasn't getting solo killed or anything like that.
Exactly.
And to go up against the best North American mid laners and kind of hold your own was a big sign, I think, for 100 Thieves. And with the main roster getting knocked out of playoffs, it's no surprise to see Soli go back with 100 Thieves Academy to kind of be with the team that he spent most of his split with so far.
Yeah, absolutely. You have Lorlo Panda, who just had his first time on the LCS stage in recent weeks and lost as well. We saw previous seasons on that stage, making some impact.
Your favorite player.
Oh, I actually do like Lost a lot. He goes hard. He's kind of the AD carry that people need to watch. Those instincts. See what happens.
Flashing walls.
Flashing walls right into the Baron pit. That's the kind of stuff I like to see.
So Lissandra and Morgana banned out first here by FOXA Academy, getting rid of some of these mid laners right away that Soligo has shown some preference for. And I guess this is trying to set Yusui up to get some favorable matchups.
Jace banned out. Keep that long-range poke out of this game. Long-range initiation, any way to catch somebody out or really deplete that HP bar fast without any counter attack. So the Thresh goes away as well, so a little bit of initiation taken away from Phil there.
Yeah, no surprise, some of the power bans and insta-lock first pick Sylas. This is pretty interesting because for the most part, Lorlo has had his time on some carries, but he also has 7 Urgot games, 3 Sion games, so he has been a little bit more on tank duty. So he's going to potentially take the Sylas. It is a flexible pick, though, and can kind of go anywhere.
Good initiation on the right side. A scary one with that conditional killer instinct from Prismal if he goes in on Kaisa, but he does have a little bit of help from Galio to come in. That might go to Stunt, it might go to Soligo. We will have to find out.
Most likely bot lane support Galio. That's where he's been slotting in most recently. Combined with the Kaisa showing already, that is a potentially weak bot lane. It's not going to have a ton of lane presence, and so FOXA instantly answer knowing what they're playing into with Xayah Rakan. Not as dominant as it once was, but still a pretty strong bot lane that should favor FOXA early.
Especially against the Xayah Rakan. So, yeah, you're, as you were saying, with FOXA Academy having that Rise, point and click. Rakan wants to go in. That's not going to feel too good. Also have the Sylas, though. We'll have to see what kind of ult he's going to be stealing. First wave of picks is gone here. 100 Thieves now going to have their first chance at a ban on the second wave, and they're going to be focusing in the jungle. I feel like I want to take the Elise out of this.
And getting rid of some more of those aggressive early game junglers. Already the Jarvan taken out, the Elise now as well. I assume they won't want to pinch too much harder in this jungle role because they haven't locked in their own either, unless we're going to see a Galio jungle or something crazy, which I don't think we're going to see.
The threats from FOXA, or the threats that FOXA are kind of thinking here is that top and mid. They're saying it's going to be Soligo, it's going to be Fake God, Lissandra LeBlanc, the Jax, maybe one other band to get it around. They probably think, as he said, the Galio's going bot, so maybe one hit on the jungle. They want to make sure Fragus doesn't get a pick that he normally has.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. Maybe 100 Thieves setting themselves up for the Rek'Sai answer with being, I assume, is the highest priority jungler up remaining. But yeah, a lot of focus on the top for FOXA. Sounds like they're trying to get rid of some of those more difficult matchups with the Sylas going up there. But it's interesting. I wonder what they're actually going to do. Oh, it's the Skarner. Okay, they have actually played Skarner a little bit recently, and it had seen those buffs. If you have caught any of the LCS when Captain Flowers is casting, you too are now a Skarner expert.
Yeah. You're only hearing from the best in NA.
Oh, we get the Kale lock-in? No, it is a lock-in.
Oh my word, it is locked in. We were just looking this up. I was like, I think it's going to be picked. Yeah, we think it's going to be picked.
Yeah, both of us were on the wiki looking up exactly all the names.
So we were looking as well. We see Morgana played on this team. So we're like, definitely expecting Morgana. Maybe Morgana ban. It's been played recently as 100 Thieves hasn't been going for that Lissandra, that Sejuani bot lane. But we are going to see the Kale here coming in for FOXA. It'll flex around, and 100 Thieves get more of a original comp for them. They do have a couple threats on that board and a way to initiate as well with Fragus. But that kind of goes away. Like you said, Captain Flowers talking about it, Quicksilver Sashes become the bane of that Skarner.
Well, we'll have to see if they actually opt into more Quicksilver Sashes, because you do have a Kale, and you will be pulled out of position if the Skarner gets onto you. But if you can get your ult off onto a target, as long as it's not you yourself, or maybe you're just the only one who buys a QSS, but then you can ult whoever gets ulted by the Skarner and try and keep them alive. That said, you will end up in the middle of the enemy team at that. After
you just ult the Skarner when he ults your guy with Sylas. No.
I mean, you could do that too. Yeah. That's pretty crazy. You get this little chain pull.
Skarner train.
Yeah, a little Skarner train.
I want to see the Skarner train this game. See what happens.
Yeah, but that's super cool. They end up putting the Sylas into the mid lane. It will be the Kale top into Akali. I'm going to be honest, everybody. I don't know exactly how that matchup goes. I know Kale Coates is stuck early in lane, and Akali, after the recent buffs on 9-5, is okay in lane again.
So you're saying she scales?
She's a scaler.
She might even transform.
Yes. I mean, have fun remembering all the different names for her Zealous, Ascended, something Transcendent, all the different passive names as she hits her different level power spikes. If people don't know what the new Kale does, like Riv was saying, she is focused on scaling. Her passive will level up at different levels, start at level 1, then at level 6 it levels up at level 11, and once again at level 16 you will be getting power spikes from her passive. And then she's mostly kind of focused at being an auto attacker, not super different from old Kale in that regard, but the way her E and Q work are very different.
They have good initiation range, but not too much range. Once they get up to these turrets, it's much up to Lost to be doing that damage. So they're going to have to watch for 100 Thieves jumping in with Fragus, having a fake god get in for those good shrouds and really causing chaos. We're going to start this one off. A good line of scrimmage in the river as the Spires are fought over just a little bit. We can see Fragus on the top side pinging out Panda as well. I was saying Quicksilver sashes, but then I'm like, you said Lorlo's ultimate for Kale. Panda has the Ragnarok. He can throw on, so there's actually a lot of things already that Fragus has to work around once level 6 comes into play.
Yeah, definitely not the easiest Skarner game. He's one of those champs that can sometimes struggle with that stuff. There's not like a giant front line that, you know, he has to run through a Scion or something to find a target. I don't think that's necessarily the problem. There's just a number of tools to get out of him. You have the Ragnarok, like you were saying. You have the Kale ult. And eventually, some QSSs will likely come in.
Yep.
And then suddenly it becomes a lot more difficult to play. But he is a lot stronger in the early game with those changes to the Spire. You see how much space that takes up now. You can basically do all your camps with that Spire bonus. So a lot faster clear early on with all that attack speed.
Feels really good being able to pull the camps over and get them done. So we'll see how fast he can get into lanes or what he can affect right off the bat. Farming on the other side, we know Olaf is quite fast. Panda running the Conqueror. We'll see how quickly he can also get into lane to affect Silas versus Ryze. Should just be a quick farm fest back and forth until Ryze can get back and start stacking up himself to get back in later in the game.
Yeah, Olaf is generally seen as a little bit stronger early on than the Skarner. Both are relatively strong, but usually Olaf has the advantage, a little bit faster clear speed with the axe spam that he has. And then I assume they took Olaf to be a bit of a bridge champion to protect the Kale early on, so you can potentially still take 2v2s up in the top side to make sure you're not just getting dove over and over, because that is the concern with new Kale, this exactly, just getting zoned off the wave. She is a melee champion basically until level 11.
Fragus full clearing on the top for Krugs. Takes him a little bit longer, and he's found now by Panda. Panda knows bottom side Scuttle is not going to be taken at this point. With Red, nice undertow on to Soli go, and he's going to say, let's fight for this. I'm ready.
That's how you want to play Olaf.
Yep.
Get in there early and often.
Justice Punch! Oh, Phil taking a little too much there. Night down, so we get a summoner out there. Looks like they're going to clean up that fight and step away real quick. And there's the pressure coming in from Panda. If Smite's not able to go off for him, he's using his own blue right now. Fragus got his, but he may lose both buffs. His red could be refreshed for Panda. Flash blowing for Fragus as he gets the safety. Good pressure by Fox's bot lane to get in there first.
Yeah, super good job. Even that Ignite that Phil kind of baited out, he is still at half HP, so he's not hurting too bad, and that's a lot of kill threat down without the Ignite in a matchup they're already sort of favored. So look for Echo Fox to continue to play really aggressive in the enemy team's jungle and make sure that that Skarner can't get up there and influence that top lane matchup. I really like how this game has started for Echo Fox.
Putting a number of things on the plate here for 100 Thieves to think about. And I'm sure Panda's feeling good that he can go collect his red buff now. Let's see if Fragus can get an eye on the map. He says, Spires first. They don't know where I am. If I take these now. As Yasui goes a little aggressive with minion advantage in lane, but he still takes a good bit of damage here. Looks like they're trying to get each other back at this point.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they can. Panda's still hovering around the spot side, and you have Fragus trying to trade out farm. You know, it's interesting because 100 Thieves, this isn't actually that far off of what you sometimes see for them. They actually have one of the, I think it's the #1 longest average game time and the largest CS or goal difference at 15 of any team in the league. So being behind is not that out of the ordinary for them, as we see Stunt getting a little too low here.
Super low. A few more hits from the caster minions take him down. 8 HP, I believe. It may have even been lower as I look down, but gets out by the skin of his teeth there, and they'll be able to get some good damage on the turret. Don't know if this is going to equal a plate just yet. Teleport back to mid. Soligo, he gets a quick rune prison on, and then a quick lashing here from Yasui. Tower shot error.
Yep, traded back on pretty quickly there. And now we see some of that pressure up from the top side that we were worried about for the Kale.
Flash.
Yeah. I think, you know, good job by Fragus getting up there early, but with how strong Kale is, especially on the current patch, it's worth noting there is a difference between live Kale and what we're playing with here today. There were some changes that went out to her W and E, where you effectively, on the current patch, what we're going to see with Lorlo, when he uses his W to heal himself, he'll effectively be disarmed for a little bit. I think it's a second. The patched Kale on live doesn't have that, so you actually have higher DPS because you don't lock yourself out of your attacks.
Yeah.
So it is not quite as strong as live Kale, but you know, live Kale's win rate is going up time and time again as people get more accustomed to the champion.
So he will be able to work around. You can see him talking on the screen right now on your bottom left, communicating. Kali is back, and he probably has that teleport up. Play safe, don't try to initiate too hard. Bot lane, little mismatch in backing as Prismal now comes through the lane with a pickaxe to Caulfield's Warhammer on the side of Lost. So they're kind of trading pretty evenly here. The Lost may be able to spit out a few more of those caster spells and get a root with those feathers. Panda, again in mid lane, hanging out here. He's been given help with CS, but we have yet to see the full-on ganks coming through just yet. It's been jungler on jungler action.
Whoa!
Flash for flash.
That's what you like to see. The jungler saying, I'll give my flash up to get the mid laners. Hopefully setting up a repeat gank, which should be doable, given that Sylas has a lot of gap closing skills. But there will need to pay another visit there to really turn that into a kill. It was a little difficult, too, with how big of a minion wave they kind of in the way.
And this continued strength of Echo Fox's bot lane, spelling good things. Pushed up Prismal and Stunt once again. Lost and teammate Phil are able to push into the jungle, get the wards. Panda has control over the bot side. They've really been able to have an eye on where Fragus is. I mean, it's for this one, they don't see him bot, they know he's on the top side.
Yep. Up to around a 15 CS advantage in the bot lane. And yes, that is Phil, famously from the auto-fill bot lane of CLG. They finally broke up. It was a difficult breakup. And,
It's true, it's true.
Phil lands on Echo Fox Academy and has had a decent split, all things.
Exactly. But I changed my name for you.
Exactly.
We must make this work. That's all right. They can fill, it works.
You got like a
Fills.
bad tattoo
Yep.
that's stuck on after a breakup.
It's good. You got a guy that fills, a guy that's lost, they'll work together. It's good. They come together at one point. Here they're coming together great. 63 to 44 in that lane as they are kind of pushing them back into the turret. Not sure if they've grabbed a plate yet as the member coins are hovering just over it, but it would be the first lane to have one. Looks like they still have 5, so not enough pressure just yet to get a full advantage in that lane. I'm just keeping an eye on Panda. He is living in Fragus' jungle all game long.
Yeah, just trying to hold that Skarner down. But it has been decent pathing by Fragus once again bot lane. Chunked out. Fragus has mostly traded for the top side, so you see 3 vision wards in the top half of the map, whereas Panda has complete control of the bot half of the map. But this is a lot more problematic for them.
What a menace Ragnarok is on. Oh, he goes down! A little bit of a mistake by Panda. Thinks he has the damage and does not expect Prismal's pickaxe to do as much as it did.
Bloodthirsty wanted to get that kill, but they had Summoner still available. The Ignite had come back up, so they had that for the damage, and even then, Flash healed. And there's almost no way for an Olaf to get, a flashless Olaf, remember, to get on top of a Kai'Sa there.
This is the exact pressure relief that Fragus needed here. He can get himself out, buff transferred over, and has a bit of time to rethink this jungle and figure out what Panda has actually taken in his own jungle and what he hasn't. So Spires to be picked up. And we're back actually to quite an even game here. That one kill going over to 100 Thieves, and they're feeling better about this laning phase.
It's one of those kind of, it's like you're Jenga and you're trying to build a tower and you have that mistake and it all comes crashing down. There's so much vision now on the side of 100 Thieves that they were able to get because of that mistake. Olaf, a champion that wants to play from ahead, now behind, as we see. Looks like he wants to answer back right away on the top side, but there was a ward up there. And so all this work that Olaf had been doing to build himself an advantage, build his team an advantage, suddenly comes crumbling down. And it's so hard to build that again as Olaf because he's already supposed to be ahead.
Oh, this axe looks so promising too, and somehow
it's short.
Nothing. The sidestep from stun and the turn.
Yeah, I mean, even if that hit, though, Prismal didn't even blow heal and was at 300 HP. It was not going to be a kill no matter what. So big mistake there by Panda. Losing a little bit on the bot side, but they always have the late game insurance policy up on the top side. So even if Olaf falls behind, this is not an all-in early game comp. Got to remember that.
They got the Hail Mary. They're going for the big long.
That connects on a couple levels.
Yeah, the long play.
The holy element, the pun.
So this also makes the difference of a BF sword now to the pickaxe just picked up by Lost. So big damage difference coming into the lane. Prismal can really get in there and rain down damage on to Lost.
Yep. Just a little off of getting his Q evolved. Just needs another pickaxe. That's a common start for a lot of Kaisas, is to go BF pickaxe with Q max. So still a little off that damage.
Kill going over in that bot lane, 2 stunt. Doesn't hurt as much. Galio can get nice and big for these initiations, but still a good assist for Prismal. 100 Thieves trying to get Fragus to do something top here. The good stun. They're waiting for Lorlo to make a big play here. I like the hold ultimate there for Fragus. He's like, I could ult you, but then you're just going to get out and walk away. So good patience.
I'm surprised. I think they might have had a kill if he ulted, because Akali has her ult to maybe get another stun off. There's plenty of CC in the Skarner kit, so maybe a little slow. Happy to take the flash for now, but that's the second flash force top lane without actually getting a kill. In the meantime, bot lane.
There's one. Charm goes out. Nice job taking down Prismal as he comes back with big damage. They bite back down on the bot lane.
Whoa.
Hero's entrance comes in, but Yusui's just trying to get himself out of this turret range, and now he will be on that aggro. No more minions for now as Fox has to back up, but Saligo almost goes down. He wants to get into the fight, but he actually wants out. The Realm Warp's not going to be quick enough, and Stunt cannot save anyone around him as they just keep falling. Unfortunate, but Fox striking hard and well.
Tricky dive in the bot lane there, but they are able to execute on it for 2 kills. Fragus answers up from the top side with the Rift Herald, but you got to think Echo Fox coming out a little bit ahead for that.
Absolutely. Nice dive. It was kind of Panda getting back a little bit. He's like, I think we can do this again. A few more people on board this time.
I got it this time, guys. I got it.
Like, I went solo last time. Let's do this as a team. You'll see it again.
Yeah, and it's a little difficult to stop this. The Charm coming in right away on stunt, make sure he can't get a nice W off to potentially stop damage from Lost. You know, that's the concern, is that the Galio was able to get some kind of counter engage off, but the fact Phil was able to land the Charm right away means Stunt was kind of just sitting there. The TP by Soligo comes in by the time the Kai'Sa's already dead, and he tries to walk a little bit too far forward, thinks he's safe, but a really nice trade by Lost to get some extra damage onto him.
Down onto the Dragon. Echo Fox actually doesn't have positioning for this. Stun. Beautiful job in the front. Double Justice punch as it's taken down by Fragus. Infernal Drake's going to give him that early game damage as we get the hero's entrance coming in now from Stunt. A great stasis from Phil, but he will fall. Fake God goes down on the other side of the fight. And it looks like they will not lose any members for just yet. It is a 4v3, though. Lost not in a good spot as he gets the ultimate coming in from Lorlo. But Lorlo wants out of the fight, and the rest of the team is stuck in the pit. They lose Lost, and it looks like the fight is the same for Echo Fox. 100 Thieves coming up big.
Really like the answer here by 100 Thieves. You know the enemy team with Kale will not actually want to take 5v5, so you just brute force this Baron down. You get yourself an Infernal, and then Echo Fox sticks around and actually tries to take the fight. Gets split up, 2 people get bursted down right away. A good engage by Stunt here. See, kind of walks in, gets the Olaf, who I don't think has any ultimate still from the dive. So at this point, they're chunked out. They're trying to go into Stunt, but a nice pull by Fragus to grab Phil. Now they're split up. Fake God doing a good job zoning all 4 members. Does lose his life orb, but now Lost is trapped, flashed into a pit. There's no way out for him. And even with the Kale ultimate, there's just no way for them to actually get on here. Yusui does a good job trading back onto Fragus, but once again, this is just them getting as many kills back as they can when they're doomed in the pit.
100 Thieves really seeing that, the instance where Echo Fox says, oh, we won that fight, oh, our jungler's doing good, they're going to go for something big and we can counter. That first time it was the gank on Panda as they countered, and that one on Dragon where they say, oh, we just won a big bot lane gank. They shouldn't be able to hold this fight at Dragon. Echo Fox is kind of taking those fights without thinking twice.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you got to say, okay, we have a KO, we can walk up and contest, maybe look for a Smite Steal, but you definitely don't want to all in on a 5v5.
It's not going to stop them, though. I like the pressure. They're still hungry. Echo Fox going for the fights they want to win. The slow with the crystallization. There's the stun, but no ultimate impale to come in from Fragus. they back out. It actually just came up, so they were a few seconds short.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they were tracking Panda's ultimate appropriately, then they would have known he was a target there actually to ult, but looks like it was still down for Frogger. They're going to drop the Rift Herald instead. Turret plating has dropped. Not sure if this will get them the turret, so not the best, but does get it low.
Soligo's giving it quite a bit of damage here to Yasui. I thought he was going to go in on that perfect execution that he stole. He hangs out, and they're going to get a little bit more vision around the bot side of that map. So 2 Infernals back and forth. 4 to 5 here, 15 minutes in. Actually even out pretty well across the map. Fake God's been able to do a great job in CS, and so has Soligo holding over Yasui in that mid lane.
Hey, you see a nice advantage there. Top lane, Kale's not super far behind, 400 gold as we're tracking the Kale counter. And up to level 10, so in one more level, Kale begins to feel like a real champion. And so far, I'd say FOXA has done a good job, like we said, bridging that gap, but they're not out of it yet. Ooh.
Good jump. Nice dash out. Frogger definitely wanted to play on that. Looks like they could actually get mid here with the pressure. A few auto attacks from Soligo. Frogger, I'm just going to walk up and start swinging. He gets one good attack in.
Yeah, returns to the scene of the crime, does blow his flash for no kill, but with the pressure, they do grab the mid lane turret.
As long as you get what you were there for. Good forward wards here in mid lane and just placed to that bottom side of the map by 100 Thieves, so they get an idea of where Panda is coming out of the jungle, and they can start to situate themselves a little early. Now backing, kind of telling a story in their inventories. 2, 4, 6, 8, if I'm counting right. No, that's 1, 2, so it's like 7 wards that they have right now. Pink wards to put around. Maybe they feel they can securely protect those. We're gonna have to see what they do with them. Coming up on 20 minutes and just 3, so a little time before Baron.
Yep, gonna be another Drake in a minute, which is probably where the focus will be. Teleports might be up in time, but most interesting with Kale hitting 11. I want to see how this fight goes. She has so much trouble putting out her damage before she's level 11 and has ranged auto attacks because she's such an auto attack champion, and she doesn't have mobility like a Yi or a Tryndamere as a melee carry, so she just is halfway to her power without the range. And now that she has it, very capable team fighter.
Level 11 is her arisen state. We'll see, once she gets that stack of her Zealous, it's like another 10%, and like you said, ranged. So maybe the DPS starts flying out. We got the Gunblade ready to go top side and keep Fake God keeping that split push on here. Gunblade versus Gunblade. Ocean Drake is actually gonna be pretty beneficial to either of these 2 up top once they get it. Who's going to win that fight?
Especially Kale having mana will want the regen that it gives.
That's true.
Kali having a small advantage with the energy.
Kathy and Rain goes down. Stun, trying to get a taunt in there, but also just pushing them off of the fight. Once again, 100 Thieves is going to start this. This is kind of a deja vu of the last fight we had, but it seems like 100 Thieves had a better grip last time.
And both top laners have made their way down, but Lorlo's doing the smart thing of wrapping around to meet up with his team. You are not a flanking champion as a Kale, so you really want to group up and kind of team fight front to back for the most part. So a good job of him to get with his team. CP was not available, but kind of stalling out as 100 Thieves goes to grab the mid lane push.
I like the Predator push there from Frogger. It was nice. They didn't know who he could grab. He could get in real fast and get himself out, but they choose to let him get the Spire back again, so that's pretty big. Thieves right out of the brush after they get control, and it's going to be Panda trying to get himself to safety. Back onto Stunt is the focus for now. Soligo is keeping himself nicely edged back and forth right on Yasui in that brush, as they have great pink ward control. Like you said, Mark, it's probably going to be that focus for Dragon, and they are just able to blind Echo Fox in quite a bit of the fight. Here, Echo Fox working his 5, power in numbers as they're trying to stay out of those vision pockets that 100 Thieves have. In comes Stunt, but they're going to lose Frogger right off the bat here. Big damage coming down to start off the fight. Fake God's coming in with a big kill over on the right side to Yasui, and they lose their Silas. As a double kill in for Panda. They end the fight, but it's so scattered, the top or bottom, as nobody can really choose a priority target to start things off.
Yeah, pretty even, all things considered, for 100 Thieves. Just a small mistake by Frogger. I like the fact that they were looking to continue to fight. Their initial engage had burned a lot of summoners. Right now, the only thing, or ultimate, excuse me, Lorlo's the only one with an ultimate, so Frogger just wants his fight to start, but he gets blown up a little too early on. Not actually able to displace anyone, and Prismal was not in the fight right away. He does ult in and kind of start getting some damage off, but Yasui just barely living. Fake God has to kind of flash back in to get him. And it's kind of splitting this fight up. And the rest of the side, Fox barely able to get out, as well as Lorlo had a pretty good ultimate there. Looked like he was pumping out the damage.
These are scrappy, and it does kind of tell the story of it's going to be a long game. So many people are falling for each fight. You're not getting a lot of turrets drop down, not a lot of ground covered after each of these engages. Kind of go back to reset and do it over again until that fight is big enough.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they try and do now that the Drake's off the map. Baron probably not a focus for either of these teams early on. And for the most part, kind of team fighting teams, 100 Thieves does have more split push potential, arguably with the Akali and Rise. The question is what happens now that Kale is level 13 and starting to become a champion. Does she start out split pushing them? Yeah. Which I think the answer is yes, but we'll have to see. Different build path out of Lorlo than some people will go.
Yeah.
He's going for the more AP focus, where you go Nashor's Tooth into Rylai's sometimes. Some other people prefer a more AD focus, where you're going Triforce and crit damage as Canna getting chunked.
Not looking good there. Fake God doing some good early damage, and now Fox is not going to deter from this. They are. Thought they're going to work the side, but again, no vision on the right. They want to try to clean this up as we see Panda using his sweeper coming in. Ocean Drake is there. We talked about this really helping the top laners out. I believe you're right. I think Cal would start to win that. A little more AoE under attack, and the split push started, and it's going to be very helpful here for Echo Fox. We'll see how helpful.
We'll have to see. And the Ocean Drake a little bit later in the game than you typically want to see it, but like you were saying,
true.
If Kale's going to be splitting more than team fighting, which she can do both pretty well, but she'll need to, you know, kind of spam out more often the heals, the E for target damage. But Fake God's the one who's up there early, and Frognes is hovering around, given that they kind of sacked that dragon. They didn't want to fight it, felt like, so.
True.
We'll have to see. And, you know, there's other scaling on Echo Fox's comp as much as we've kind of been talking about the Kale. Silas is a champ as well who spikes super hard at 16 in team fight situations where his ultimate cooldown drops to, I believe, 10 seconds and then a little bit lower even with some seed cooldown. So you can get multiple enemy ults off in a fight. So he's been using Akali's most frequently because it synergizes well with the diving nature of his kit. But yeah, grab that ultimate off Skarner and pull someone back in, and then maybe swap it up. So
he's still rocking the Galio ult right now?
I'm not quite sure which one he has currently.
He has 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, you can sit on it for a very long time when you pick one.
Good pressure in. Oh, he sees that. Says, you grab my house fire. No way. I'm actually going to walk off of that. Looks like Silas will re-grab that. Yusui doing a little cleaning up around the house. Oh, they just leave it. Or that. Heading over to the other side, though. They want to get this mid turret down. It's really stopping them from being able to do anything in the front line of the map. A few wards behind red, and they can really figure out how actually to break this defense. What engage is safe? Because when we've seen Phil going in, whoever he goes in on, stun is right there, and he's not far off. So the hero's entrance, or his entrance, is not that long.
Nope, and it's not quite as powerful as it once was. Hold on.
Good flash. Fast fingers, Fracas.
Good reaction too. Phil flashing in for the engage. That's that very slight nerf to Rakan potentially coming in when they changed his W travel speed. Maybe that's what allowed him to get out, but very nice reactions, like you said, by Fracas to stay alive. He's out.
Dashing at a red shadow. Almost got it. Double board. They can see. Slowly go on a solo mission. Wow, they completely littered that side of the jungle. They definitely want to fight. Fake God on the bot side, trying to get a good bit of damage in. Actually gets that Kale ult out pretty early. That was beautifully done. Perfect execution, if you will. Great play there by Fake God.
There you go, Fake God. Living up to half his name, the good half, the bar you want to feel. With that pickoff, 100 Thieves think that they can start this Baron off. They do it pretty quick with Kaisa.
Well, initiation there on to stunned only. Really great delay by him as 100 Thieves play across the map nicely. They get Fake God on the teleport up as well. They probably could have just done that with 4, but you don't want to chance it.
Yep, definitely want to be there in case a fight does break out, not being greedy by Fake God. They grab the first Baron of the game pretty early on, 24 minutes against Echo Fox.
Will they decide to move now? 100 Thieves feeling pretty good on this. So we go seeming to fit right back in with things. Kind of just riding the bike with the Academy team once again here. Keeps himself up in CS by at least 20. And he's got those almost 3 core items coming up. Still recipeing the 3rd for now.
And, this is a pretty important window, I think, for 100 Thieves. We were talking about the scaling of Echo Fox's comp. You were able to fight just before they might have started to get too out of control, before the level 16s. And if you can make an insurmountable advantage or even end the game with the next 2.5 minutes with this Baron buff, you can avoid that whole problem that you're facing should you have to go for another 10 minutes into this game.
2 levels away.
T-minus 2 levels.
Will he explode? It looks pretty sweet now.
I mean, the wings start coming in more and more as you hit those power spikes.
We'll have to see what he can do. He's waiting for Fake God on the bot. He will get what he's looking for in just a few seconds. You can see a bit of a roller coaster there in the middle when they were fighting for dragons. That's what I was talking about. We'd see Echo Fox get something. 100 Thieves says, well, Echo Fox is going to try X. We can bite back. And that's what we've seen the whole time.
Yeah, it's been super back and forth. It's just about making sure it stays in the red right now for 100 Thieves, because
the only time you want it in the red.
I wouldn't mind seeing them try to be a little bit more aggressive. They don't have the flash on Froggus, unfortunately, but just chipping down inner turrets is not the kind of lead I was saying I was hoping to see with this Baron buff.
Yep. Uncontested Drakes now. What a change to the game in just a few minutes here for 100 Thieves. They're able to really waltz around the map. Still keeping that mid turret up has completely shut Echo Fox down from moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I missed it. I like the Drake fights we were getting earlier. Bring them back.
It's true.
Remind me of old season League of Legends where every 5 minutes everyone meets in the bot lane and says, all right, we're fighting for Drake.
We were keeping pretty close to the minutes and kills of equal factor there. Now we're just about 15 at 26.5 minutes in. As things slow down, Echo Fox needs to consider which fights they're actually taking, how much of their vision is being cleared here, because a few of those fights, Phil's gotten into a pretty dark spot, and that's when 100 Thieves takes back over.
Yeah, it's been a mix of aggression for Echo Fox in a comp where it's pretty easy to say, no, let's not play that aggressive and just try and scale. They went for that pick off on Froggus in the top side of his jungle. And I like that Echo Fox, even with this scaling advantage, don't just sit completely back and whatever, you have to beat us. I like that they've been trying to actively pick fights, but now that they've lost a couple and fallen behind, this is the right time to switch it up to a little bit more passive play. All right, 100 Thieves, you have the lead. There's no Baron buff up. We've protected a lot of our inner turrets. You did not grow your lead substantially. And now they're getting so close to 16. It's like, okay, yeah, wait till 16, then start going aggressive again.
Just biding time. Mountain Drake next. Still have a little bit of time for that, but 2 Drakes per side. So if we do get to that Elder Drake factor, both teams are going to get quite a benefit from it. But looking at Echo Fox's team as well, you have the Silas, you want to steal ults, you want to use those. It's almost kind of hard to use, well, not the Realm Warp, but it's hard to use those as well as the Silas is secondary. Like, if you actually have Galio's ult and they start diving on you, you know what you feel like as a Galio. If you have perfect execution, you're kind of only doing one thing. Everybody's fighting for themselves, it seems, on Echo Fox a bit, besides Kale being able to offer an ult. A really protective team on 100 Thieves that's working out well.
Yeah, I think both teams' comps outside of just how one pick works makes a lot of sense together. You have a late game DPS source in both Kale and Xayah, who want to kind of sit in the back line and just melt people. Yusui on the Silas can either dive in potentially with the Olaf or just use some of those ultimates a little bit more for zoning. Whereas on the flip side, 100 Thieves has a lot of dive, and they usually want to pick somebody off and blow them up instantly before the Kale can come in and interact. So both these team comps have pretty clear ways they want to take these fights.
It becomes harder when Fake God can take out your one of your win conditions.
I mean, if you can bait the Kale ult, that's pretty gross.
I don't think that's the mistake you don't make twice, though. You activate it that early, but you never kind of know what's coming out of the Shroud. That's why it's so hard to play.
The Shroud is a very interesting interaction with it because he's in the Shroud, you're taking damage, you want to ult so he stops taking damage, but then he can wait it out because he's in the Shroud. So the Akali pick actually looks pretty good into it right now, but we did just crest that level 16 for him, so Armageddon has arrived.
Transcendent. Yeah.
That's such a wimpy trumpet noise for how much we were hyping it up, Riv.
Equal to the intensity, I promise. 30 minutes in, so we're seeing Lorlo crest that mark around the 30 minute. And we'll see what kind of power he can provide. The first fight with Fake God could be coming up soon. It is going to be an Ignite to his Flash and Teleport. So Fake God does have that potential grand entrance on an exit for Lost and Phil.
You see
Keep
that
themselves safe.
Righteous Glory popped, you get pretty spooked, but was able to have Lost in range to take that E, very long range.
Seraphs and Morellos into a Rabadon for Saligo as he's almost finished with that. 3 item on Yasui as he is carrying that Lich Bait now for a little bit extra damage. And we have a 2-man Baron going down. Secret. Coming in from 100 Thieves. They're going to see it. Panda's going to be like, oh, wait, what? He flashes in, actually does not get it. Bragas is going to be taking a bit of damage, but he is happy about the smite. They are chasing Fake God out of the fight before he can get a perfect execution as Phil might burn down from the Ignite. The bottom side, he stays alive. Panda gets the ultimate coming in from Kale, and they save. How has nobody fallen in this fight? Fake God will bleed as Yasui comes up with the first kill of that Baron Squall.
Crazy fight there. 100 Thieves, very smart Baron steal, or sneak, excuse me. You have the Mountain Drake, and you have Kaisa, but she wasn't showing, so the enemy team thinks it's safe. But Ryze and Skarner actually do plenty of damage on their own. Good attempt for the flash in by Panda, and I really like what we see out of Lorlo here, not panicking and using his ult on Phil. Never use your ult for the support, no offense support players, but you don't do the deep. Does use it for Panda to keep him alive, which does stop him from dying as he's doing caught out here.
Ooh, you got ultimate too. Who's he gonna grab? Is there an impale to an impale? Oh, how's it feel? Same medicine. The damage coming in from Yasui. He gets 1 kill, but I don't think he's got it for Soligo. A little bit too much safety there for the Ryze. Shield for shield, and there's the end. Yasui getting the heal. 1 more E in, and he can get it. 40% there. The shot from the cannon minion. Soligo keeps himself alive with that last auto and spell.
Yasui almost taking the 2v1. Played so well, not actually able to finish him off. That little Baron buff extra damage probably being the difference in this fight.
That healing is so deceptive.
And they still have the, you see they have the grievous wounds on top of him, so that is with the debuff. He is still almost able to take this fight, doing a good job using the creeps to block some of the spells that come out of Ryze. Good combo there, working the auto attacks
for
in.
300 HP on that heal.
Oh, just not able to finish him off. The cannon creep almost getting him down. Good heads up play by Soligo, knowing I should cue that cannon so it stops shooting me. Super well played by both teams there. But you're starting to see that scaling concern, right? Like, that was a 1v2 with the mid laner. What would it look like if Lorlo was there? And it's a tough, despite kind of having the gold lead and having the Baron buff on their side, it still feels like an uphill battle right now for 100 Thieves.
When the fights become deceptive, that's when you really need to think twice. Yasui doing a great job there. Lorlo protecting the top side. You can see that long-range auto attack ability now. Holy, Soligo not expecting that damage coming in from Lorlo. May have not known that range. He keeps himself alive for a little bit, trading great damage back. This means the rest of the team can now focus on the bot side, and Echo Fox does need to take a bit of time to heal, so I'd call this a win on the side of 100 Thieves. They're going to be able to take more pressure here.
Yeah, they do lose 1 member, but Soligo was able to trade a lot of damage back on his way out, which allows 100 Thieves the time to break their first inhibitor turret of the game, exactly what they need to do. Uh-oh.
Pretty aggressive. They're going in hard. Prismal actually wanted that. Catherine Rain goes down. Featherstorm from the other side as both of the AD carries are trying to spit the fire out. 4 members of 100 Thieves still standing tall on the doorsteps of Echo Fox after they kind of flubbed that fight. Still feeling confident. Soligo 20 seconds on the spawn, so they're going to go ahead and get some breathing room between them and Echo Fox.
Yeah, pretty aggressive play there by Echo Fox. They do have this kind of disgusting combo of an unstoppable Olaf who's also immune to damage. He is immune to literally everything in the game. Besides, I think Paranoia might still get him. But otherwise, he's just immune to everything. He's still not that threatening, though, despite the fact that he's immune to everything, because he's just an Olaf 35 minutes into the game. But he was enough of a decoy to force 100 Thieves back away from the inhibitor and to time that Baron buff out.
I actually think you don't get blind.
I'm not quite sure. If it got applied to you before the ult.
Talking about this once, but I shouldn't say that because I don't remember.
I think if the Nocturne ult before you get the CC immunity.
Yeah.
Who knows? Either way.
Boom, there's some CC immunity for you. Stun. Gonna be the actor in this one. Right over the wall comes FLICKR, and that is not good for Phil. He goes down. He cannot protect Lost, and he's now on the backside with Yusui. Panda trying to get out of this fight. Lorlo really doesn't have an option, left or right. He doesn't know who he can get to. Whoa!
Oh, we didn't want that.
Yusui goes in, hit the chains. He was kind of just going for the taunt, I believe. Just trying to make him say, yeah, we're here to fight. But he makes the mistake of going in, and a little bit more pressure is given to 100 Thieves. Now stealing the Galio ultimate, a little bit harder to use in that defensive position, but he might be able to save Lost if he goes hard. Featherstorm is back up. We need to get himself in a position to fight. FLICKR is in range to get taken down, but he's keeping himself in a good spot to stay alive. And here with Panda back up, he still takes quite a bit of chunk when he gets hit with any of this damage from 100 Thieves. So they are considering just kind of undertowing 100 Thieves back to their side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, really well done by 100 Thieves, taking a split fight, which is exactly what you want to do versus Echo Fox comp. Like we were saying, they're very strong front to back, multiple hyper-scaling backline carries. And so if you're able to split that up, you can focus one of them down. They did only kill Phil, I believe, but that's fine. You killed someone, and you're able to take that man advantage down. Good objective focus to grab the bot inhibitor. And with Baron spawning in 30 seconds, that's the perfect time to take an inhibitor, because now it's going to push on its own.
At the point and click, all the things that can stop Phil right now are really giving him a hard time on these initiations. Props to Echo Fox for still trying to get themselves into the fray. This composition of 100 Thieves is very, very hard to get that same kind of pick-off aspect. Pushing in here, Panda and Phil, as they try to get the Vision Wars 1 on the top side of the map. They're going to have Baron in 9 seconds, Elder Drake in 15 seconds as the objectives are coming up hot.
I like what Echo Fox did. They pushed out the bot lane as far as they can. 100 Thieves react appropriately, send the one guy with TP down to the bot lane, but now Echo Fox is posturing around the Baron with all 5 of their men, knowing that we need to force this Baron to get the TP out of the Rise, where we'll see if 100 Thieves want to commit to the split or if they want to take this fight.
Holy moly, their damage is sufficient.
He TP'd the minions in.
He TP'd the minions in. One of those minions, the super minions on a side, can take down a Nexus turret if it has full focus. The fight now going down at Baron. It looks like they're going to lose their support right away again. Phil's going to stay alive with the ultimate from Lorlo's Kale. They're now getting the fight back into the mid lane, and I believe they're going to be able to drop Soligo as they continue the fight. They will now be on to Fragus. He goes down. Now Soligo's down on the bot side of the map. I apologize. That was Fragus and Stunt that have gone down. 12 to 11 now, 36 minutes in, and Echo Fox pulled that right play card out and made 100 Thieves bite on their play.
Yeah, super well done, as well as Yusui actually going back and dealing with the push. They win the 4v4. They're a little stronger in the late game, so they know they can kind of win on both fronts. It was a good idea by 100 Thieves, and if Yusui was not actually back there, I think that might have been the ticket to get them this W, but...
Lorlo does some disgusting damage.
Yeah, I mean, Lorlo does some disgusting damage to everything.
Yeah.
He actually went Lichbane third, you'll notice in his build.
Ooh, Soligo.
Yeah.
Running in. So it looks like they're going to rinse and repeat. This time, however, they have Prisma on the bot side of the map. Fast backs as FLICKR plays to stop the back game. It's going to be instant attacks to take him down. Guardian Angel now for Prismo. They may be able to stay a little bit longer, but Lorlo says, let's go! Gets the slowdown on the Soligo, but not enough range for the attacks. He still has a bit of that Ignite ticking. I should say the damage ticking. And he is going to get out. Soligo's fine for now, but they do not want to mess with Lorlo, and I think this is spelling bad things for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, they had done so well for so long, but that small flub at the Baron buff allowed Echo Fox to grab both neutral objective buffs. And if you didn't want to fight Echo Fox's late game comp before, you definitely don't want to do it now. Luckily for 100 Thieves Academy, all of their inner turrets are up. So if they can maybe somehow survive through this, they can hopefully find some more split push opportunities.
That has changed quite a bit. They stayed in the red, Mark. They listened to you. Your marketing advice worked.
They're kind of coming back up right now.
Yeah, I know. But they've stayed in the red for now. You can't look at the 4 minute. You got to look at the 4 hour.
They're 700 gold in the red. They're fine.
You're looking at the wrong line. 46 seconds on that Elder timer. Let's see what else they can do with it here as they are coming up strong. Prismal still with that Guardian Angel. You can see the Knight's Vow over onto his support, and that's going to try to, or I should say, on his jungler. So he's trying to keep him strong I don't think they have very long to keep these turrets up. Initiation goes in. Phil's able to make it out this time as he gets taunted, but he's still safe. They drop stunt right away. The tank is gone. Fracus has to run. And wow, Echo Fox have struck hard. And they struck fast. They come back with a shock and all fight right inside the base of 100 Thieves and are able to take down an inhibitor immediately. Lorlo on fire with the rest of the team. A triple kill for Lorlo as he just knocks down Fake God immediately. Teleported in. Very nicely done. I like it. I like the style play coming in from Yasui's Rise ult there on the Realm Warp to the turret. They're going to be able to take down their first Nexus. Fragus, Soligo watching as they're figuring out what can they do in Game 2 to stop what just happened in Game 1. Echo Fox come away with that victory.
A very back and forth Game 1. Both teams had their opportunities to potentially win this game. Some good last-minute decision-making out of Echo Fox allows their late-game comp to kind of finally get the advantages they need to smash the ending of this game. It was so quickly changing from 100 Thieves have a bot inhibitor taken to the game is over for Echo Fox.
The rinse and replay was perfect for them. I was saying, yeah, Soligo's going to go bot. This is great. They can just keep bringing it in. Oh, they have Prismal now. And then you saw Lorlo go bot. And before, you're like, oh, man, Fake God killed him. That was great, 1v1 or 2v1. But no, yeah, the clap. That was there.
Yeah,
right there.
It was great when Fake God got that solo kill, super clean. The problem is, Kale then continues to scale and gets more and more ridiculous. And I like the idea out of Echo Fox Academy when they had that split push going on. They made a very intelligent call to say we need to force the Baron and just kind of react to what happens.
And as we jump back into the replays, it tells the story of 100 Thieves seeing they could take something after the bottom lane gank from Panda and the team, right? The second one worked. So 12:30 in, we see the Dragon fight for 100 Thieves being that first time they're able to be like, hey, this is that fight we can take after Fox feels they're strong.
Yeah, I mean, Echo Fox had a small advantage in the early game off the bot lane. All things considered, it was pretty good. But then they kind of get baited into this Dragon fight when Lorlo's only level 9. It's so hard as Kale to contribute to this team fight. You kind of just see him running around, has his ultimate, not quite sure who to use it on.
This is my favorite part. Ultimate?
Bye.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Yeah, that's what Kale does at this level. It's very hard to team fight, and despite that, you know, it's still a 4-4-2, or 2, excuse me. So it starts going back in 100 Thieves Academy favor once they make those initial over-aggressive 5v5 plays. If you want to fight 3v3 bot lane with your stronger bot lane, great. Don't bring the Kale and the Akali into it.
And then we start getting a little bit later in 1845, another dragon, as you said, Mark. It was your favorite part of this. We just hovered around the dragon fight after fight. This one for Echo Fox, as we were saying, do they rinse and repeat, and do they have it this time?
And it was just a slight overly aggressive play with Fragus getting caught out initially, and Kale now level 11, able to actually contribute to this team fight. Still very close, 3-2. You can see how back and forth this game was.
That's the up and down. That's our roller coaster of our gold graph coming in. But overall in the game, that slowed down. I think 100 Thieves, able to keep that turret up in the mid lane was big, and it shows again Soligo playing strong for the team. We didn't see him roaming too much for much of that, but I got to give props to as well. No, I'm not going to remember his name.
Panda. Oh, Panda?
Against Jungle.
Fragus?
Fragus, thank you. I was like, not Gragas, it's Fragus. It's so close. That he was able to come back. He didn't let any of that stop him in the early game to not be able to get to his next camp. He got pressured on that Raptor, but he did a fantastic job. And then they were able to push all the way up to the base until the end game fight, until they found themselves up against the Transcendence Kale, Lorlo coming back strong, and on their front doorstep was an Echo Fox.
Yeah, hard to figure out what to do against an invulnerable Rakan ulting at your face at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it's very hard to get away from that.
Boom.
Plus all the damage that comes in behind it, they're very quickly able to smash 100 Thieves Academy, and this is with also a Baron buff and Elder Dragon buff on. Yasui, good idea trying to get the cannon creep on there, but the cannon creep had a mind of its own, walked out of it, so Panda takes the Realm Warp with no creeps to join him.
Yep.
Got a little bit of turret aggro, but it was fine at that point. The game was over.
Really, really great kind of individual play coming from Fake God this game. We saw him having a few individual outplays. Yasui showing that Niski top lane. The Silas top lane, way to just be like word champion player, word train. But Silas top lane is he was able to 2v1, almost get that kill. There's some great plays coming out here from these players.
I think what this game showed is that this is going to be a very draft-dependent series because this was a game I think was won in draft by Echo Fox Academy. They have a clear scaling advantage, but they were able to get that, still having strong points on the map in the early and mid game to transition them there. They played around their winning bot lane when the enemy team first rotations their bot lane, so they get something that scales not quite as well as the Kai'Sa, but still very well while having a winning matchup. The Olaf as well to have a power point. Your mid laner, you know, as Silas is a late game champion, he's still relatively strong, and so they did all that, and then the last pick, Kale, to be like, yes, this is the linchpin of our comp. We're going to leave him on an island. You force his flash a couple times. Who cares?
And that's like perfect for Lorlo, the guy who would play kind of Maokai, become a giant tank, knows the patience game, that he will be very effective later, and is like, well, if I could be effective later and play like I would like my favorite Aurelia and still crush, that's what he does. So, do we see the Kale next game?
I mean,
do they think there's actually something? Because the Akali actually looked really great against it if they get it, if they can take it up before 16.
Yeah, it was the kind of thing where I think some good jungling by Panda held Fragas down from being able to affect that lane matchup as much as he wanted to. He did force the flash twice, but you need to be diving and killing a Kale. It's like a Gangplank back in the day. Like, you're not okay with a 20 CS lead. You're not okay pressuring him. He needs to be dead and dying and scared to stay in that lane against whoever you put up against him, because if not, he's going to become a better champion. Yeah, beat him up.
Beat him up. All right, we're headed for a break right now, but when we come back, we'll see if 100 Thieves can bounce back from that loss and even up the score. Game 2 is coming right up after this. Lost, not in a good spot as he gets the ultimate coming in from Lorlo, but Lorlo wants out of the fight, and the rest of the team is stuck in the pit. They lose Lost, and it looks like the fight is the same for Echo Fox.
Yeah. Back down.
I'm on Skarner. Yo, look Skarner, look Skarner. Hey,
Watch me, guys. Watch me, retreat.
Watch you. I ulted you.
I'm dead. Kai'Sa. No flash, Kai'Sa, no flash.
Probably kill me.
Rise, no flash.
No. Kali's on the side here.
Yeah, just see.
We got the kill trade we want.
Shield for shield, and there's the end. Yusui getting the heal. One more EN, and he can get it. 40% there. The shot from the cannon minion. Soligo keeps himself alive.
Ulti you? Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. We need to help. I'm on Kai'Sa here. Okay. Kai'Sa. She flashed out. Let's
Kai'Sa, go Kai'Sa.
Yeah, we can kill Kai'Sa.
Top Lawrence. I need a W out.
We got Kai'Sa.
Just go down mid. Just go down mid.
Yeah. We got this. Fine. They don't have a threat on bot. We can just...